So because of this COVID-19, there could be alarmingly high rates of anxiety, fear of getting COVID-19. They might experience panic attacks, memory difficulties, or they might even engage in constant reassurance seeking behaviors. A panic attack is something which is abrupt onset of intense fear and discomfort that is classically characterized by its unexpected nature and the severe intensity of it. There are a checklist of symptoms in order to identify a panic attack, but the most common ones are people report of racing heartbeat or palpitations, chest discomfort, breathing difficulty, dryness in mouth, tingling or numbness sensation in the extremities, abdominal discomfort or nausea, feeling sensations of choking. Some even reports of chills or heat sensations, or fear of dying, depersonalization or derealization phenomenon, or a fear of losing control. Panic attack is a form of anxiety manifestation. So the core component of panic attack is its nature of unexpectedness and extremely intense, severe form of presentation. Panic attack usually peaks within a couple of minutes and even subsides. But there are other forms of anxiety which are largely characterized by worry or distress or fear. Now these can be seen as an anticipation for a particular stressful event or a situation or an experience. The course of these attacks is usually gradual. It does not have the nature of sudden peak and then resolving it, and they can be mild, moderate or severe form of anxiety symptom presentation. The people who experience these panic attacks on a recurrent basis over a couple of weeks, that is when we diagnose somebody is having a panic disorder. It can happen at any time, during the day or night. Some people experience only one panic attack, which we don't diagnose it as a definite panic disorder, while in others it can happen on a recurrent basis, multiple episodes. They might be triggered by a specific situation or place or an event. There are two types of diagnosis. One is panic disorder without agoraphobia, panic disorder with agoraphobia. When it comes to anticipatory anxiety, your mind is consciously looking out for the next panic attack to happen. This is a form of free-floating anxiety which presents for the rest of the day. If you see the phobic avoidance, you begin to avoid certain situations or environments. For example, people who experience panic attacks, they start avoiding social gatherings, closed spaces like lifts. Effectively, the mind starts working in such a way that it is trying to protect you from having a next panic attack. Although the exact cause is not yet identified, but there are multiple variables. There are certain biological or genetic factors which have already been identified, because of which panic attacks can run in families. Secondary to major transitions like childbirth or pregnancy, getting married, relocating to a different country, or even loss of loved ones or health hazard to a family member. So these can also induce a panic attack. Lastly, there are certain medical conditions also which can induce a panic attack, like hyperthyroidism, hypoglycemia. Certain cardiac illnesses can also cause panic attacks. Substance use like caffeine or cocaine, they can also induce panic attacks. Once we know the underlying basis, is it only medical or biological, or is there any psychosocial factors, then we can decide the nature of the treatment. So number one, medications might be necessary for a short-term basis. So once there is a reduction in panic attacks, the anticipatory anxiety and the agoraphobic behaviors would also eventually come down. Secondly, there might be a requirement for psychotherapy sessions in order to deal with situation-specific conflicts. Once a person does well with the behavioral strategies, the medications might be eventually stopped. Focus on your breathing practices. Deep breathing practice largely helps you calm yourself. You can even try grounding techniques. These techniques usually use your five senses which are providing input to your brain. Hold your eyes, or hear to some music, or breathe deeply, or drink some water. So now these are certain sensory inputs to the brain which will distract your mind from the stress inputs which is happening. Try to maintain a good physical and mental hygiene. What I mean to say is have a proper sleep cycle, eat well, and hydrate sufficiently, that is drink water. Finally, build a strong social support system.
With over 1 lakh medical experts and the facility to teleconsult, experience clinic-like consultations on Practo.